Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Super Mario 64, Part 19. Ooh, we're almost at the big 20. Fellas, in the last episode, we struggled our way through getting the Dire Docks 100 coins and tried to... We got very close to finishing the Wet Dry World 100 coins, but I got a little too confused, and we were running a little short on time. We were at 21 minutes, and I was like, you know what? I need to figure out how to get to the town. But it turns out, fellas, in the midst of me, I was about to pull up, look through a guide, and then I was swimming around Wet Dry World a little bit, and I saw a group of coins. As you can see, we have the star. So, yeah, not even a minute in, we've already got a star. Star 114. Ooh, baby, we're getting close. And in this episode, we're probably going to be doing Tall Mountain and maybe... Why am I going to the basement? We're going to be doing Tall Mountain and Snowman's Land. Fellas, I mentioned towards the end of the last episode that outside of my plans that I have for future Let's Plays, I had something that I wanted to talk with you guys about in, I guess, a more concise episode where I can, start out and just kind of continually talk about it. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about this new style of content that I was thinking about conjuring up here in the future, which is I want to actually get around to doing video essays. Video essays are definitely something I want to explore because realistically, I think that, I've been watching a lot of video essays as of recent, and because I've always considered myself to be quite the yapper in these videos, right? I consider myself to be quite the yapper when it comes to making the content that I make. I think there was even a comment I saw. This is not throwing shade at this person at all. Because I actually found this extremely funny, to be honest. They were like, too much talking, man. I think that was literally the whole comment. I don't remember what episode it was on. But I just found it really funny because I'm like, I'm going to keep doing things the way that I do them. But do I respect that person's opinion? Yeah, I do yap a lot. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't and try and really, defend my stance on it. But that specific comment, that's just kind of an offshoot point about this. But I find that the yapping side of things for me has always been really, really nice. And I have wanted to find a way to indulge in topics that I care about or I'm trying to understand how that just happened. I'm trying to understand how that just happened because, that was the most lucky shot. Well, okay, I'd say lucky shot. It was actually a pretty good shot. And it just sent me off the ledge. That's so funny. But, yeah, I've wanted to explore video essays specifically because video essays, yikes, they get into the more specific niche side of topics that I just really, really love and care about. And I want to be able to explore that. And I know something that I remember, bringing up to my partner about the concept of doing, oh, well, that's not good for the sake of me wanting to get those coins. Oh, it could still be bad even if I get the... Well, there's still three. One thing she mentioned to me was that this is great, but are you prepared to have to write, script writing? Now, I am one for saying that, video essays, they probably don't need to be specifically locked to writing it through a script. However, I am going to, at the very least, admit that if you want to make a pretty compelling video essay, you probably at least want to have a script behind it. I mean, it also kind of fits within the name of video essay a fair bit. And I do intend to do script writing for it. I have always been a big fan of writing to some extent in general because I've always found that when I was in school, my strongest core subject was always English. The big skill that I had that, some people maybe severely faltered at was, I could write essays pretty well, and I would get pretty good grades on them. I have had several creative writing. I took a creative writing class in high school, and I got a 100 on a stupid. Oh my gosh! I got a 100 on a stupid fictional. So for context, right? A friend of mine, back in sophomore year, he was a junior, but he was telling me that I should. This is insane! This is actually insane that this is happening. I literally am just getting sniped by Monty moles constantly. Oh no, dude. But that friend told me that I should because I didn't know what to write my essay on. The big thing that our teacher told us when we were in that class was or not when we were in that class, but he told us during this very specific creative writing assignment that we should write about whatever wacky, bizarre things comes to mind, right? And so I was like, okay. Now I was very confused because I didn't know what in the world I could possibly write about. So I turned to my friend and I asked him, because he was sitting next to me. I turned to my friend and asked him, hey, what should I write about? And this guy was like a weird idea machine. He was always very big on that sort of thing. And I don't exactly remember the full concept, but I believe it was something along the lines of Bob Ross. Okay, this is a great start. It was something along the lines of the concept of Bob Ross taking over the world like he's Godzilla. And what would be described in the essay would be very specifically, taking over taking over a very specific town, right? So that was my plan. So I wrote it, right? I wrote it, and the big thing that I don't think I actually remembered, and I think our instructor intentionally saved this detail for after we had all written our stuff, which in hindsight, I find this kind of cruel that he did this, but dang, that guy's dead. For my specific case, this was really, really funny. We had to read out our creative essay, or our creative writing story, to the class. So, I want to make it known that there were a lot of people who wrote something maybe fictional, but semi-emotional. There's this huge emotional depth to their stories, right? And then there comes me. Then there comes me with my stupid Bob Ross story. So I read it out. I put a lot of passion into my narration of it, by the way. I just want to make that immensely clear straight out of the gate. I put a lot of passion into the way that I read it, everything of the sort. So, a few days goes by, and I remember my teacher was like, wow, that was great. He was an older dude. And I was like, no way am I getting praise for this. So, yeah, you have that whole situation with it. And then came the big question. Oh, I forgot to take this into account. Oh, that's not good. Does it respawn? Oh, no. If it doesn't respawn, I'm gonna be so mad. I don't actually think I'll probably do a jump cut, by the way, just because, specifically today, I just don't want to. I don't think the star respawns. I'm gonna be just so upfront with you. I don't think it respawns. But yeah, so a few days goes by, and I am anxiously awaiting what the verdict of my little story was. Fellas, my Bob Ross Godzilla crossover story got a 100. And when I tell you, he was handing out those papers, gave mine to me. I look at that 100. I turn to my friend, who helped me on the concept, and I just turned to him with my jaw dropped. Because all I am sitting here thinking is, what in the world do you mean I got a 100 on a creative writing essay about Bob Ross as Godzilla taking over a town or city? I think it was a town, the way I wrote it, but I legitimately couldn't believe it. I genuinely could not believe that happened. I should mention, by the way, that the whole point I was trying to get into by mentioning this was that I have experience in writing stuff. And I find that my confidence level going into potentially writing something for creative writing, it will be quite high. Okay, so the star doesn't respawn. You know what's actually crazy? The coins don't respawn, but the star also doesn't. That's... Whoo, that's wild. Wait, I start here? That actually might be kind of handy, to be honest. Because now I don't have to worry about picking it up mid slide, which is good. So yeah, I really do want to take these opportunities to do big creative endeavors of making these video essays on things that I'm passionate about. This is going to be good for, I guess, you peeps that are maybe wanting a little inside information, whenever I start doing the video essays, kind of I was here sort of deal, right? I have plans to do a video essay regarding my in-depth thoughts on every Mario Kart track I was specifically thinking about Mario Kart Wii, but I'm also thinking about doing it for, even games like Mario Kart 8, going over how I feel about maybe the remakes of certain tracks, and really going in depth, and of course, doing it in even though I tend to think I do things in a pretty decently coherent fashion, depending on the episode, I think that, having a video essay format for it would be very interesting. It would also be very interesting as well because I plan to put in actual editing work. Because, for those of you who don't know, I actually have, I say for those of you who don't know, I don't think really much of you guys know, period. Well, unless maybe some of you guys have come from the Lethal Company shorts I've done from around 9 months ago with a group of streamer friends of mine. I actually have quite a bit of experience with editing. I am not a professional or anything, but I definitely have my fair share of experience with it, and I have always had a gigantic passion for editing as a whole. So you may be wondering, if you have such a passion for editing, how come these Let's Play videos have been so just not focused on that, right? They've been way more focused on commentary as opposed to the editing side of things. And there's actually quite a simple reason for that. Number one, the format of Let's Play that I wanted to do simply just involved making the editing like this. I have mentioned since all the way back at the beginning of Donkey Kong Jungle Beat that what has mattered to me the most when it comes to making a Let's Play like this is that the focus is more on my commentary, right? And I think every Let's Play kind of tends to be focused around that, but I think especially in the case of the more old school format that I'm going for, that is especially the case. But there is also another technical reason that I haven't ever really crossed any consideration into my mind of making more maybe highly edited, more high energy editing in my Let's Play videos. And that is because, fellas, simply put, I have told you guys that this PC has never really been the strongest, right? It's okay in some regards, but for a lot of the things that I want to do and a lot of the editing that I want to be able to pursue, my PC, and I've tried this as test footage, I think it was 4 days ago, I busted out the recording for Mario 64 Part 12, and I tested whether, my PC could handle some of the editing jobs that I had in mind. It couldn't. Any time that it would cross over a split after making a couple splits, it would freeze the preview window, and it would freeze it bad. that is not what I'm going to be dealing with the video essay, because the video essays, I plan to have a lot more in-depth work put into stuff, and it's just that's very important to me. So I know for a fact that if I want to do any high editing jobs, whether it's video essays or maybe get more advanced with the Let's Play videos, which I don't think is exactly as much on my radar, but if I ever did decide to do it, right, it just feasibly, I mean, I guess technically it can happen, right? It can technically happen, but my PC has just dwindled so much. Guys, it was a miracle that those Lethal Company shorts were even able to be made in the first place. I think the only reason they worked as well as they did is because they are short form content, and just didn't require nearly as much editing work to be done. And that just simply is the reality of the situation. So it's not necessarily a thing of I can't, but that realistically it is just not even remotely viable to try and properly edit any of these videos, or even start on doing the video essay format that I want. I could technically start off by making video essays that are a little more in line with how I, make videos currently. I could still do the script writing, whatever. But I just have such a strong vision for what I want with the video essays. And kind of a reality is that vision just, it wouldn't be able to be expressed under the conditions of my PC currently. Now, you may be wondering, like, when do I plan to get a new PC? What kind of stuff is it gonna... That sucks. Ooh, that sucks. Ooh, that sucks so bad. God, these later levels suck to do 100 coins on, I'm learning. But, like, yeah, so I don't know. I have very strong, like, I have a build in mind for the future that involves, I know at the very least a big thing that it involves is a RTX 4080 Super. That is one of the big builds that God, that sucks. Yeah, a build with an RTX 4080 Super is kind of what I'm looking into. And I'm very excited for my my overall vision of the build. It's just a matter of when that build will be able to come into fruition, and just being able to make the content I want to make with it, and make it in the vision that I want to make it in. Because the reality is I have such a vision for what I want to do, and I actually think in terms of executing and knowing how to do said things that I want to do, that is also a thing that I feel very confident about. But where everything just kind of crumbles and where everything dwindles a bit is that simply my rig just, it can't handle that kind of power. I realistically think some of the stuff that I've been wanting to do, it wouldn't be able to handle that well as is anyways, but I think especially under the condition that it's in now, where, I mean, this rig is 7 years old, it's been through the ringer, probably has needed to be cleaned on several occasions and hasn't, due to me simply growing up and, not being as experienced with stuff. It definitely has put, like, a dent into things. But I think more or less the issue lies more just in the rig that I have as a whole, and it being just a genuine roadblock into doing the things that I want to do. And it sucks. I wish that I could do more, but you roll with the punches, man. You do what you can do. I'm going to try and see if I can't... I don't know how I'm supposed to get up here as of now. I actually don't really know. Can I do this? Oh god, doing slope kicking is so difficult. On Joy-Cons, man! Okay. Let's do... that was the way to do it of all time. Oh, dude! Please, man, please, I need this. Wait. Oh my gosh, it's a Christmas miracle. I don't know where in the world all the coins for this area are located, by the way. I'm also realizing we're cutting it awfully well, we're not cutting it awfully close. We are at 20 minutes. Oh, dang it. Yeah, I don't, you know what? I know I cut it early at Wet Dry World. Let's actually give you guys a longer episode because I want to actually talk a little longer about some of the plans that I have. But yeah, so that's kind of where my head's at. I have no problem doing the content that I'm doing currently. And I'm actually very happy doing it, to be honest. But a lot of the... bro, can you just circle around me? Circle around me. Oh. Dude, just... There we go. Okay, so you just need to be a lot quicker about it. That was one I already got. I'm so mad. It's unbelievable. I'm so mad. So mad. I honest to God don't know what available coins there are. If I'm being so for real with you guys, I don't know what available coins there are. What am I missing? There's like 55. Oh, man. This is rough. This is very rough. Okay. I'm gonna do a quick look around. I know there were some coins over there, but this is... How do I only have 55, man? I feel like if I recall... There's a... Okay. You know what, actually, the more I think about this... No, straight up, I think I'm just going to save this, I'm going to save this start for the next episode because we do not have time. We just don't have time. And I am kind of fumbling. I've gotten most of the thoughts I wanted to get out, too, so I don't really think it's that much of an issue. But that's going to do it for this episode of Super Mario 64 Part 19. Oh, man, next episode, fellas. It is going to be the Big 20, and I am very, very excited about it. We're making very, very slow progress at this point in the game, fellas, and I'm very sorry about that. This is simply just due to the fact that I am not that experienced in this portion of the game. The 100 coin stars later in the game suck dong, I'm learning. But all is well, we will persist, and we will find out how to properly do this in the next episode. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, hey, that's going to do it for this episode. Hey, if you guys enjoyed this episode, maybe like, comment, subscribe. I don't know, it's your life. Yeah, it's your life. Do what you want. I don't really care. That's my saying. That's the saying I say every video. And I will see you fellas in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.